sorted the diffs out this morning, give everything a bit of a service. I thought, right, I'll pop in and see Johnny, but unfortunately he's gone out. The wind's caught my gate, bust my gate, so I've just fixed that, and there's no one really about. I was hoping there was someone to have a beer with or something like that, so what I'm going to do, no real plans. I'm going to go get a couple of beers and something for tea. Then when we go back, we're going to sort a few bits out, get some admin done, and just have a night out. Stand by. Bit of foraging done. So yeah, this is kind of why I didn't put the cooker in here. I know, ironically, the last 2 videos or whatever I've been cooking in here, but I'm trying to get away from it because it's one of them things where in here now, there's the steam and everything, what I'm cooking, everything's carpet, right? That takes ages to air that out and get some nice air freshener in and all that stuff. So yeah, it's dead annoying, but it's like, it's not really warm outside, it's cold, it's windy, can't film anything, so I don't know, I might put 1 ring back in here, maybe 1, but the Ridge Monkey stuff's doing all right. So it's not getting hot on the worktop or anything, it's all right. And like the thermal blinds for the kids bunk up there and for the window there, I think it kind of, the dark and the light grey goes really, really well with the black and the dark and the grey, and I like it anyway. So yeah, a few more little jobs in here just to tidy it up and stuff. Looking at getting rid of the 2 back doors at the top and having 1 big hatch and maybe a couple of little garage doors at the bottom, but we'll see how it gets on, because the DAF's going to take priority in the next couple of weeks as they empty that yard out. Oh, taste test. So, got a bit of the mash. It's actually not bad. It's not proper like you make yourself. I know that's what they've done, but they've done it with machines, so it's a bit too mushy. Veg. I'm bad with veg. I like it overcooked. Messy. I've got the full homeless look thing going on. I've issues trying to find barbers. I had mint barbers, but it's appointment only, and they book up days, weeks in advance, so that's out the window. So depending on where I'm working, I'm going in different places, and they muffed my beard up somewhat chronic the last time, so it's put me off to the point where I've not had my hair done for about 3 weeks, so I'm like a bum, and I don't like looking like a bum. So, but yeah. Excuse me. So yeah, it's nice that. Like I was saying in a previous video, people get too carried away with just barbecue. Push yourself to do something a little bit different. Try to do something a bit more house food, I'd call it. Winter warmer, that kind of thing. Try it. Tag me on Instagram, something like that, and I'll share it. Put it on the bugoutvehiclesuk Facebook group, something like that. Get it out there. Push yourself a little bit, because you might do something absolutely banging that nobody else does, and nobody else will do unless you share it. Do you know what I mean? It's the whole point of these videos. I've learnt loads off of YouTube, so I kind of want to put out there what I do. It's a video diary for me, something for my daughter to look at. It's also something I hope that I encourage other people to go out and do stuff. Every now and again I get some right positive comments, some positive feedback that someone's either started going out, or it reminds them they can't physically get out and they appreciate watching the videos and it feels like they're going out, kind of thing. So yeah, hopefully something positive comes of this. So yeah, it's what are we now? Probably last week in February now. What a wasted month. It's been terrible. this weekend I'm supposed to be up on the Yorkshire Dales off-roading. Sacked that off because I've had to do my diff oils, and something doesn't feel quite right on the new axles. It's almost like I can turn left dead easy, but right's a little bit harder, and I don't get why. And there's also a little bit of play in the steering, which there wasn't before because everything's new, so I need to check that out. I didn't fancy sitting on the motorway for 2 hours there, 2 hours back, and the time off-roading. So we'll get that squared away and find out what that is. Week before that, we were supposed to be doing cutting the trees up, logging them, sorting that. That was a group camp thing. That didn't happen because of that storm. Obviously, Andy didn't want loads of vehicles in the woods, which totally makes sense, because if a tree comes down on something like this, who pays for it? It's one of them, you know, insurance are going to be silly buggers. Put too much gravy powder in it, it's actually really nice. So that's that one. Week before I was supposed to be out. All I can do is apologise, but I'd rather not put the video out there than just put absolute crap, says the guy filming himself eating his tea. But do you know what I mean? Just like an unboxing or something like that, or update videos are alright, but I think you can overuse them, you know, when you've got no content. So I just didn't want to do it and just water down what I'm doing. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it. So I appreciate the patience from people, especially the Patreons, because I like to put more out because of that. Because if it was down to me, I'd probably do one video a month at best, just as and when I do something cool. But because people do support me on there, I try to make an effort to hit the once a week and make it worth the while. I'm just in talks with a couple of companies. I'm going to try and get some gear for giveaways. What I try to do is I'll try to get 2 of something. Then what I can do is one of them is just a random giveaway. The other one I can push towards someone that's helped me out more. Do you know what I mean? Because I try to make it, the more people put in, the more help I get, the more I try to help back. So yeah, it's a hard one because you always get someone that say, oh, it's all rigged and all the rest of it, and it's like, on the second one, yeah, it goes to someone that's helped me, but on the first one, what I've started doing as well is to just get somebody else to pick it out. The easiest ones, when I put a post up on Patreon, I'll ask a question, go on to that last post, everybody that's commented, get someone else to flick through and just pick someone. It's just random that way, isn't it? So, I suppose it's a trade-off. You don't want to look like you're filling the videos full of adverts and stuff, but at the same time, you've got to get gear in. Either one, to save me money so I can spend the money on like £1,200 worth of that that I've just had to get, because I'd rather spend it on that and get a free something for the Land Rover, you know, than not buying that and not upping the quality and stuff. I hope that makes sense. But I'm just not an endless pot, is what I'm saying. And no matter what, there'll always be someone that criticises. And after watching a lot of TikToks and stuff, I get it. Some people are just bored and they've got nothing really going on in their life, so they've got to pick at stuff and dig at stuff, and I suppose it gives them a bit of importance for the day. Because otherwise, without that bit of negativity or that bit of drama, it'd be empty, and some people can't fill it with positive things or what have you, which, if that's how they get by life, it is what it is. That's hot. But yeah, coming up, so after you've seen this one, I should have another camp video. I've got 2 vehicles to tour. Once I'm happy with this, I'm being really fussy. I'm doing the Land Rover thing where you take it to bits and put it back together and nothing feels right. And realistically, I'm just comparing it to my work van that's modern. I just need to get the confidence back in the thing again, and then I'm going to start getting the trips in, because I've put a bit to one side, get them trips in. There's potentially a small vehicle coming, just so I'm not dependent on either this or my van. It then gives me a runabout vehicle, which then that can also tow Stu's trailer, which gives a bit more content, because some people want to see the trailer videos. So I want to get a bit of lane in towing, because I think there's not enough people doing that. Get the videos out in this one, and then also the DAF is moving on. There's just nothing to really show as of yet that's not more trimming up. It's more getting the right parts, getting the things made, and then I can have a bit of a blitz of putting things together, if that makes sense. So that's what's to come. And then I'm going to sit here, I'm going to eat my food, I'm going to drink my beer, I'm going to watch World War III on TikTok. If you haven't, check out the description box below. There's my link tree with all my different medias and stuff on. If I'm ever quiet on here, usually there'll be a bit more on TikTok or something like that, just because it's quick, easy, disposable, fun, and it grows quick, so I'll put a bit more time into it. Because these videos, I'll spend 2 days faffing about, moving cameras, filming things, doing that, and then I'll spend 2 or 3 evenings putting the video together. Whereas like a TikTok, 30 seconds to 5 minutes, it's done. So the in-between bits, if you're ever curious, check that out. So there we go. Couldn't eat it all. It was good though. Overdid the gravy. I don't like thin pissy gravy, so I put an extra spoon in, and it just took a second before it all congealed up, but it was still bloody good. Right, so the idea of this is just show you something a bit different than the barbecue crap that everybody always does. I say that, I right enjoy a good barbecue, but it's too often, isn't it? So what we're going to do now, scrape all the remains into the mashed potato thing. Ideal world, I probably wouldn't have put it on a plate if I wasn't just chilling in the camper. I'd have chucked it all in the mess tin that the veg was in, and then you've got the pan to cook in and the mess tin, and that would be it for washing up. Because one skill set that people, when you watch them, they use too much water. I like to keep it old school. When you think, you know, when you used to carry your own water, and you won't waste it on things like washing up. It was for drinking. It's minimal washing up. So if you can try and keep that with the vehicle, it's just good practice. Say if you're going to Morocco, somewhere like that, there's less water to go at to filter or things like that. Yeah, it's just good practice. So yeah, get everything nice and clean now, get it all put away for the morning. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my coffee gear out ready for breakfast, then I'm just going to chill. Would be nice to go outside and have a bit of a fire in the compound, but as you've seen, the compound's still shit state and waiting for that to be tidied out, and as well as that, it's really windy, it's blustery again, which is no fun. So I'm going to crack the heating on here, get comfortable, watch some TikToks, and might even treat myself to some YouTube, because I am so far behind on the YouTube viewing, it's unreal. Oh, good morning. Well, I'm being lazy. Woke up about 6 o'clock, and I really should have got up, because I looked out the window and it was quite a nice sunrise, and I should have gone and got some pictures, but I'm on my own, so it's really nice not to have an iPad making noise and kids' TV and things like that. So I put my head back down. I've had another couple of hours, so time to get up. Not sure what to do today. Either clear a bit. I definitely need to get some measurements on the truck for a few bits that I'm having made. I should clear a little bit of space, but I think I'm going to do that when Johnny gets the crane in and moves everything. And I also want to do a bit of wiring on this truck today. So we'll see. It's very blustery this morning, so yeah. Let's move. Oh, I tell you what, with with these Ridge Monkey kettles, you've got to make sure the spout's at the back. I thought I'd be clever today and just lift it up so I don't have to put my hands underneath it, but too much steam comes out here. Woo! Oh, I needed that sleep. What do you reckon to these? Got some new blinds. Gonna just fit them a little better. I've just put them up for now just so that they're usable, but I'm gonna put a few more fittings in, you know, just to make sure it doesn't sag or anything like that. It's bang on. It's Gabby did them, you know, at Willowfield's campsite. Bang on, because I had the old curtains on there and they were tatty and all the rest of it, and these pretty much, the Velcro in place, so I can just lift them up, Velcro them up, remove them totally, and it leaves a frame on. It just tidies the whole thing up. Little things. These are the little rough edges that I need to start addressing, you know, just tidying bits up, because the issue is I've had this thing nearly 8 years, and what happens is it's constantly evolving, and I work on it through the week, and what happens is I'll start doing something, and like this weekend, I've been tinkering in it through the week, set off back, and next thing I know, you're a bang as you're driving, and a load of stuff's fallen off, and you remember that you had all the drills out and all the fixings and fittings and all the rest of it, and you have issues like this, where everything gets piled in a corner. And like when I go out to a show or something like that, I do actually get everything back out of it again, but I begrudge, because I've got no garage, I begrudge taking everything back out to go to a show, to come back to put everything back in again. So yeah, I'm looking forward to moving house, because I'm looking at new houses now, and I've got to get one with a large garage, a carport, and a few other bits and pieces, because I've got no YouTube studio or anything like that. I'm literally just sat at the end of the bed, just doing my thing. So the only two things that I've said that I definitely need is a good workshop and a room where I can edit. So that's on the list of things that I want. And when that happens, I can finally empty all my cupboard of tools and odds and sods. But it does come round, because I have had issues while I've been out, and I've just fixed it with all the crap that I keep. So for those that haven't seen it, it's this thing. So DAF T244, it's the old 4-tonner. Basically, I found myself a real low mileage, low use, old school of infantry one, and yeah, we're going to get this one sorted. So let's have a look. Real quick run through. So it's going to go gloss black so far, that's the plan. Going to go for the sun visors, big cage on the front of it and roof rack, all LED lights everywhere, just modernise it. All those little things that burn your head out as this truck sits now in its military configuration will be getting changed. So the power on these things, the pumps are turned right down to make them squaddy proof, so that's going to get turned up to where it's happy at sitting. We're going to go for the proper decent tyres, so everybody knows these things get stuck on a grass field when it's wet. So we're going to get them tyres off, we're going to get the MAN spec tyres, the Continental 14v20s on, wider tyre, taller tyre, which also changes the gear ratio. This then gives it some motorway legs, okay? It turns first gear, which is a crawler gear, into a proper gear. It turns fifth gear, and it just bumps that cruising speed up a touch without it revving its nuts off. So that gives it better off-road capability, better on-road capability. The lights and stuff give it proper lighting with the light bars as well. Happy days. So that sorts that out, if that makes sense. So anybody that spent any time in one of these, you know how noisy it is, you know how uncomfortable it is. It's not a nice place to be. You can see in here there's no insulation, there's no soundproofing, there's no nothing. So one of the first jobs in this will be soundproof it, get some insulation in, get it boarded and carpeted, just make it a nicer place to be. Get rid of that droning noise, and then when it's cold it's insulated so we can keep it warm. When it's hot, get the AC on, because it will have air conditioning eventually, this, and it's easier to keep it cool with the sun beating down on the roof and stuff. And I know someone's going to say, oh well, don't paint it black if you're going to go somewhere. If you follow me for any length of time, you'll know everything's either black, green or camouflage. They're the only colours that I do. It is what it is. So yeah, get some aircon in here, get it insulated out, get it soundproofed. The other thing, ooh, mil-spec seats. So yeah, the seats will come out. We're going to get some proper nice bucket seats in, something that you can sit for a period of time in without them being horrible. Between more power, better gear ratios, better seats, soundproofed, things like that, it then takes it from everything that you would say that's a horrible drive, and it chips away at those things to make it an okay drive. It'll never be a good drive, it'll be an okay drive. Then when you sat for hours on end travelling, it's not burning your head out. And what a lot of people don't get is, if you don't get creature comforts in the cab right, that's the thing that makes you tired by the end of every day. It really is draining day after day. The other thing that we'll look at doing is, so in here you've got the basic controls, you've got the basic dashboard. The plan is to keep a lot of this exactly as it is function wise. If you keep everything factory, then it's a lot easier to fix, fault find, things like that. So what you do is, like what I do on the Land Rover, you'll have an additional electrical system, an additional extras which don't interfere with the running of the truck in any way, shape or form. However, they run side by side and improve things. So what we can do then is have things like the reverse cameras, the blind spot cameras, premium sound system, which that does make a difference. Is having a good sound system makes a hell of a difference on a drive. For anyone that does distance, you know. Then from there, yeah, probably gonna go for a bit of storage down here. Definitely want a fridge in here, because if we're travelling long distance, you don't want to be jumping in the back and pulling over every time you want a cold drink or something like that. Someone can just lean over, open it up, get a nice can of Coke or something. Mirrors and things, they are so 1994. So all modern truck spec mirrors. We're going to get the sun visors on it, tons of light bars, things like that, and just completely modernise it. All nice door cards. Probably retrim all of this. I'll keep the rubber floor, because we might have to jet wash out and whatnot, but just make it a nice place to do some miles. So wheels and tyres are a big thing on these trucks, because the ones that are on are terrible. They're made for hard packed deserts and tarmac pretty much. They've got no self-cleaning properties whatsoever. So one of the big things on the list, I've got the 2 rear ones, I'm going to get 2 front ones, but I am still looking that I need 2 more in-date ones. As you can see from these old ones, they've got no mud clearing ability whatsoever. So what we're going to do, we're going to get the 14x20 Continentals that they use on the MANs, and we're going to get them on, replace them. What that then does is it gives us a taller tyre, which changes the gear ratios, which makes it a much better drive. We've then got a bigger, more capable tyre for off-roading, for going in a bit of mud. Even if you're on a campsite, there we go, even if we're on a campsite and it's grassy, this thing weighs a lot, it will bog itself down to the axles, and that's just plain embarrassing. You get something bigger like a Continental, drop the air out, it's got its self-cleaning properties, crawl your way out. It's just a far better setup for very, very little money. As you can see from the height of the top of the bed down to the top of the chassis, that is some, there we go, that is some amount of space that's wasted. So all that's going to get brought down, a much smaller, lower chassis, and then the box on top. The reason being, these have got a really, really low cab anyway, so if the box sits really, really high, it's more drag. It's raising that centre of gravity massively, and last thing you want is an overland vehicle with a really, really high centre of gravity. It's going to fall over, it's going to just perform poorly at best. So you try and keep that centre of gravity as low as possible, get them chassis rails low, get them mounts low, which in turn keeps the box low. Because when you look here, that box isn't too far off the floor, it's already at that height. So can you imagine that when it's on top? So we've got the end wall in, we're just going to trim that up next. But what we're waiting on now is Johnny's still going to get his stuff out of this yard, and he's going to crane the flatbed off for me. Once the flatbed's off, I've got a few mates coming over, we're going to get the sub chassis done, and we're going to crane this box on top of the sub chassis, which then gives me twice the space to work, and then I can really rattle on. So the purpose of today's this weekend's night out last night, I got the axles done yesterday morning. So what I've done is I've come over here, stopped the night, I'm here early enough, I'm out of the way, it's a bit of a break for me. As you've seen, not been able to get many videos done over the last few weeks because of weather, whatnot. So yeah, get some measurements now. I've just measured from that wall to that wall, so I can get my mate to start fabricating up the frame for the bed. I've just got the measurements for this corner, which is going to be the seating area. So what we'll do on that video, we'll go to the fabrication shop, I'll show you those being made, we'll bring them down, we'll get them fitted. Once they're where they need to be, we're going to get the steam cleaner in here, get it all cleaned up, get that bit fully sealed, fully trimmed up, and then this thing's ready to be mounted. Then it's just a case of getting the cables, the pipes, things like that into place. There's a lot of work to go after that, but once those key items are in, it dictates the space, and you'll see massive progression when it gets to that point. So there we go. It's one of them things I'm really struggling to get out this time of year. So we've got the new locking axles now. They're on the truck, going to bed them in, got them serviced, been down to the truck. We've got the measurements for the next step on that one. So I think we're gonna have to get a night out on the in the woods or something like that in the next video. Then we're gonna have to get on with some fabrication work, start really progressing with that truck now, because it's coming into show season. I think I've got a couple of shows like Billy and things like that on the cards, and yeah, let's see where we go from there. So I'm going to swing by the petrol station on the way home, get this thing washed, because it's still absolutely minging. The back of it's full of it's just full of everything. So that's annoyed me this weekend. So I'm going to get all the excess stuff out of there, apart from the bits that I need to do the switch panel and finish that off, because yet again I've got about 3 half-finished videos. I'll start filming, weather turns, either it's too windy or it's raining or something like that, and I have to sack it off. So I've got them to finish off. It's nightmares. I don't know how YouTubers are doing it at the minute, you know, like Aid Urban Arc Overland, he's smashing it at the minute with his vehicle builds, and he's consistently getting one a week, which fair play to him. But it's just nightmares. I can see why people aren't posting much, and normally I get the winter content, but it's just come around to that time of year where I'm struggling for it. I am genuinely struggling for content. So if you've got this far, thank you very much. If you've been patient and the weekly videos haven't been up, I apologise. All I can say is, if you can give this a thumbs up, and if you can put a comment in the description, it helps the analytics. While the analytics are high, it's easier to make more videos and make them do something. So thank you.